Hey guys, welcome back to Small Room Productions. Again, as always, I hope you guys have another awesome day working on some great music. And today we're going to go over a controversial topic, and that's going to be what kind of plugins should I be using, digital or analog emulations? It's definitely a controversial topic. Everyone's always wondering, well, you know what? They have these emulations of all these great hardware units. Why shouldn't I be using those? And I'm going to go ahead and tell you what my opinion is, and just based off what my workflow, what I like to do. It's just my opinion, so you guys are welcome to, take it or leave it. But here's my thought on it. What it is this: the kind of clients that I work with are usually working with material that they recorded at their house. And with that said, they're not recording at $1 million recording studio with all these great room treatment and such. So what I like to do is approach it in a couple different ways. First of all, really the right answer is it's up to you. Whatever works with your workflow. That's pretty much the answer. Is what are you working with? If you're someone who has the luxury to be working in a recording studio, you have your your performer, your whoever your artist is singing through an awesome mic, going through an awesome signal chain, going through some great preamps, and is, most importantly, doing that performance in a well-treated room where the just tone sounds great on the way into Pro Tools, then you probably have the luxury of being able to use this, any way you like to. Now, on the other hand, like I said, talking about the people that I normally work with, and probably what a majority of the people that you guys are working with, because I realize my audience is going to be mainly people who are recording from home or recording other people from their house or from their houses. So with that said, what I tend to do is this: whenever I have someone who sends me a file to mix and it is someone that's recorded from their house, I tend to usually go for one of these standard stock EQs. And the reason why is this, is that it allows me, let me go ahead and turn this. Yeah, it's on. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and just bring the gain all the way up and the Q really narrow in. And the reason why is because some of you guys might already know what I'm talking about here just by doing this, is that when you're recording something that's recorded in a room that's not treated, you have problems with certain frequencies resonating and having a really nasty sound, and is really taking away from the quality of that recording. So what I tend to do is I like to do this to bring my volume really high and the Q really high, and I'll sweep across the frequency spectrum in order to find those frequencies and then pull my gain back and cut those frequencies out. So that way I'm getting a cleaner sound than what it was before. Now, the problem is on some of these analog emulations, you don't have the flexibility of doing that. I can jack the volume all the way up on this one, and I can go sweep through different frequencies, but they're at fixed positions. What about the frequencies in between? What if the frequency I need to work with is somewhere in between these? It doesn't really give you that flexibility. Now, this isn't the principle with all analog emulations. As you can see here, I do have the SSL EQ. Now, with the SSL EQ, it does give you a little bit more flexibility. I can also at the same time make a very narrow Q, jack the volume way high up, and sweep through it without it clicking. So it does give you that flexibility. I myself personally, though, like to have the graph here on the frequency to be able to look at where exactly I'm doing. So it just, for me, I work better that way. It's just more of a preference. Some people, they're just fine just go ahead and sweeping through and finding their problems with their audio, the quality of the audio, and just fixing it that way using one of these. So again, the answer is really up to you. I mean, obviously they make plugins where you're able to do those kinds of things. Now, here's the other situation. Let's say if you are getting stuff that's recorded at a really nice recording studio, then going to something like this is probably, it's gonna work for you. And the reason why is because since you don't have any weird nuances with the quality of your recording, because the room was treated nicely, this is not necessarily going to be forgiving, because it should be recorded in a good quality anyways, regardless. But you're going to get better results. That's the word. You're going to get better results using this EQ that way. Now, if you had a vocal that was recorded in a bad room and you're trying to fix it with this, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. So you could do one of two things. You can either A, just use one of these EQs, either this one or this one here. Like I said, I normally go for, something as simple as like maybe the DigiDesign, typically it's a 7-band EQ, not the one, but just for, the real estate of my screensaver here. I'm using this one, or you can do the SSL. I'll go ahead and find those notes and pull them back. And then if you want to, you can bring in another EQ to add a little bit more color if you're really searching for that tone. Me, myself, my computer, it not being an HD system, and being a little bit older, I tend to just go for one EQ with more bands and be able to do all my EQing that way. And then what I'll do is I'll use a compressor such as this one over here to be able to add the color that I want to add to it. This right here is an emulation of an 1176 that comes stock with Pro Tools, and it has its own characteristics. Now this is another plugin that also came with Pro Tools that's also a compressor, but the two of these will sound different. The reason why is because this is an emulation of the 1176, where this is just a standard compressor that has its own functionalities, is not trying to mimic anything, it's a compressor. So it really just depends up to you, really ask yourself, what are the qualities of my recordings? Are they good? If so, maybe I can afford to be able to use a EQ like this VEQ4 we have here from Waves to be able to use on my vocals or on my drums and still get great results, without having to worry about weird frequency resonances going on. Or maybe I am recording in a room where I need to be more cautious of it, so maybe it is nicer to have one of these. Now the great thing is that if you're looking to buy a plugin, here's the thing. Normally your DAW is going to come with some sort of EQ that works similar to this, whether you're in Logic, Pro Tools, what are some of the other ones? It doesn't really matter. Any DAW that you have is normally going to have some sort of standard EQ that looks similar to this, that's going to allow you to get surgical. So if you want to get an analog EQ, you're more than welcome to. Me, myself, in preference, I don't have anything against these. I'll use them from time to time, but it's just not something I use a lot. Again, more if I want to get that vintage sound, right, from a plugin emulation. I'll use a compressor because I'll use an analog emulated compressor because it just gives me a different characteristic. So I hope this kind of clarified some questions for you guys. I know people say a lot of stuff, what gear to buy and stuff, and I know you guys are thinking about investing some of your money in plugins and such. So I hope this helped you out as far as thinking about what kind of work that you're doing and maybe what will be the better investment for you. If you like this video, please subscribe. I got new videos coming out soon. I'm actually spending the rest of the day making a whole bunch of different ones, so you're going to get a lot of content really soon. Besides that, have an awesome day, and see you later.